during the last elections?
Yes, what went wrong indeed. I laugh because many Zambians are asking me the same question. All of us are asking ourselves the same question. I'm sure that even you, Mr. Mwansa, you're asking yourself that question. What went wrong? I don't think that many Zambians have an answer to that question. This was a shock. A shock for every Zambian. A shock for us in the PF, just as it was a shock for UPND. Up to now, we have not come to understand what went wrong.
His Excellency, you are crying, your wife is crying. Town criers. I warned you. This is just the beginning.
The truth of the matter is that this was totally unexpected by every Zambian. But I'm sure that with time we will understand what happened. Now it's a bit too soon to understand. Some people have suggested many questions or answers to this question. Others have attributed to spiritual intervention. Others have also attributed it to intervention by foreign entities. Some have also attributed it to superstition.
The best is yet to come. Cry babies.
As I sit here, all I can say is we are yet to establish what went wrong.
You've been in the political space for a very long time. You've seen governments come and go. And I think this shouldn't really be something.
Good evening, Zambia, and I hope everybody's doing fine. So today we're going to be talking about the results. Obviously, yesterday, Kabwata had a very phenomenal day with regards to people exercising their democratic rights. And we obviously saw the UPND emerge victorious. And this is one of the reasons why, I want to have this discussion tonight. And I just want to find out from you, because I've got several questions. You can check the questions that I have in the description. So that is what we are going to be talking about. And we're also going to be talking about a lot of other things that were brought to light by not only, CR1, plus a lot of other political analysts with regards to the Zambian political landscape. So before we jump into today's live stream, I am kindly asking you to share this video on your timeline, on your Facebook page, and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because we definitely need to get as many people involved. We need to have as many opinions as possible. So do these 2 things right now. Hit the like button, like this broadcast right now, share it on your timeline, and then share it in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because it really helps sustain the platform. And to all the people who would love to join today's discussion, I am sharing this link in the description box below. So if you want to be part of this particular live stream, if you want to be having this conversation with me, kindly check the link in the description box, and you are going to be able to have access to tonight's, we're going to be able to, come here and we're going to have this particular debate. So everybody share the video right now, share it. We need to have at least 100 shares. We also need to have at least 500 shares. I can see we've got over 400 people watching us. Please let us know where you are watching us from. And I've got these questions for you tonight. Are you satisfied with the results that came from the Kabwata constituency? And are you satisfied with the outcome? So what other political parties sort of impressed you? And are we going to have any other bigger contenders with regards to the other opposition parties? Because it really seems PF is losing popularity as days go by, and people are moving on. So what other political parties do you think have got a chance to make an impact on the Zambian political landscape? And we're also going to talk about the financial side of sustaining an opposition political party, because a lot of you don't really know exactly what really goes in with regards to sustaining a political party. So in the meantime, to other people who want to join today's or rather tonight's discussion, check the pinned comment. I've just posted the link. You can join, and then we're going to have this conversation a little bit later. So continue sharing, share everywhere, tag everybody, and let's keep the discussion going.
Very hard for you to comprehend and perhaps understand.
No, this is extremely hard.
It's falling up and down like wall of Jericho.
This is very hard because in many constituencies, people who were announced as winners of those elections were themselves shocked that they had won. President Hakainde himself was shocked when he heard that he had won. President Lungu was shocked to hear that he had lost.
Imamwewantu, please let me know in the comment section below. Were you shocked that the Patriotic Front lost August 12, 2021? And are you also shocked that PF lost in Kabwata? So please let us know, because this shocking apparently is only visible to the Patriotic Front. Only the Patriotic Front supporters, sympathizers are being shocked. So, Kabwata, what have you taught us? Are they going to continue getting shocked? And by the way, there are going to be more upcoming by-elections. For example, Kabushi is going to be coming up pretty soon. And I really believe Honorable Bowman Lusambo is the next one who's going to be getting shocked. So please let me know in the comment section below. So to all the questions that I asked you, please drop them in the comment section below, because I'm going to be reading your comments. So tag everybody, share right now.
So it's totally different from all the other elections. I'm sure that the people you call on your television, you ask them this question, they'll all tell you, we didn't expect the results. So there's certainly something bigger than the eye can eat.
The UPND had been talking about, the fact that there's a strong wind of change ahead of the elections. Prior to the elections, I was speaking about, a strong wind of change, and what necessitated that, according to them, is the hard economic situation that you, the people.
You remember the last time we had a strong wind of change.
So, Mwewa Kabwata, please let us know, was there a strong window of change in Kabwata? Because it seems Zambians are definitely doing it once more. Kabwata did show the Patriotic Front ivory, despite a lot of door-to-door campaigns. It didn't work. So it really seems the Zambian people have finally decided to move on, and the surprises are just coming in left and right. So are you shocked? What do you expect from the next upcoming by-elections in other constituencies? Do you think the Patriotic Front's political party are going to be able to survive? So please drop everything in the comment section below, because I'm going to be reading your comments. For example, Femia Musompa says, now thinking of seeking spiritual guidance, says Lubinda. Oh, and by the way, just like I told you, right, we need to talk about financial sustainability with regards to these political parties, because, carrying a political party through thick and thin, especially during your peak season as an opposition, really requires a lot of financial master. So do the Patriotic Front have tangible business people who are able to lobby for more funds? Of course, today we did see Raphael Nakachinda having talks with Julius Malema. We all know that Julius Malema is definitely a force to reckon with in South Africa, and he's done very well. So is Raphael Nakachinda going to be able to learn some heavy tricks with regards to being a very good, viable opposition, and also raising money for sustenance as far as political parties are concerned? Because by the end of it all, it's all about business. It's all about supporting and prolonging Ichipani and all these other people. So to all the people who want to join me right now, kindly check out the link in the description box below. Continue sharing this video. Because we are definitely going to be talking about a lot of stuff, because we're going to talk about Chinese investments and basically all these other big players and just basically the role that they play with regards to sustaining a political party. So will the Chinese continue supporting the Patriotic Front, or perhaps they've decided to move on to, the next big thing? So we are definitely going to be talking about that. So continue sharing this video. So more what Chagada says, again, tell them. How do I join, sir? So Wetty Weston, the only way to join me right now is checking the pinned comment in the comment section. Then click on the link. You're going to be able to have this conversation with me. So in the meantime, let's continue watching this. Then we're going to get down to business.
It was in 2011. Before that, you had it in 1990, 1991. Then you could see it on the streets. You could see it in the press. You could see that people want change. In 1990-91, when the MMD was organizing for change, you could see that there was a wind of change. In 2011, you could see that there was a wind of change. Everywhere you went, you could see the wind of change.
All right, so I think that's basically it from Honorable Given Lubinda. So Honorable Given Lubinda has lost influence with regards to sustaining Kabwata. Kabwata constituency obviously was given Lubinda's bedroom, right? And in 2021, they completely lost that particular seat because we had a UPND MP from Kabwata. This time around, they had a second chance, but they still couldn't scoop that particular seat. So is Kabwata officially a red zone? So these are the many things that we are going to be talking about. And speaking about, you know, other big PF bigwigs, right? Let's say, for example, we saw a lot of activity from Bowman Lusambo Chishimba Kamwibwili, etc. Do you think this is one of the reasons why they couldn't really get to convert all that effort into votes? Because, you know, basically the same faces were doing the campaigning, and people are obviously sick and tired of these people. So this is one of the reasons why perhaps we need to have new people leading the Patriotic Front. And if this is going to be happening, right, which other people are going to be viable for the Patriotic Front with regards to rebranding them? Because by the end of it all, right, it's not really going to, well, like they say, you can't really continue doing the same things and expecting the different results. So, you know, my own personal suggestion is obviously getting to use different faces, different new fresh faces. Oh, of course, the Patriotic Front still has some good credible people that you know, the majority of citizens can obviously look up to. Like, for example, Christopher Kangombe is a very good one. Seer one did talk about that. Tasila Lungu, you know, managing to bring back the Patriotic Front in 2031. But I highly you know, I've got my own personal opinion about that. I don't really think that is going to be very viable because, you know, Tasila Lungu and then, you know, being in opposition, opposition. So in the next, you know, 12 months, we're going to be able to see who is going to continue remaining vocal. As you can see right now, right? People like GBM. GBM is where is GBM, by the way? Where is GBM? GBM has stopped being very vocal. The only vocal people that we're having right now is obviously the usual suspects. But you know, but the people who weren't really that financially well off, you know, these guys have just decided to take the back seat and just observe from a distance. Because by the end of it, all right, the more vocal you are, the bigger a target you're going to be. So this is one of the reasons why obviously they are having a little bit of a dilemma, because it's difficult. You know, how are you going to be able to sacrifice yourself and say, you know, Nai Pelesha, I'm going to be the one who's going to be the face of this particular political party, especially in Because this is one of the reasons why you're seeing, you know, the usual suspects such as Bowman Lusambo and, you know, the regular ones. Because but 40, remember, being in opposition, you become dusty. 2 years, because it's tough. It's tough being in opposition. So, of course, you have to look at all these different angles and just see how you're going to be able to sustain yourself. So anyway, in the meantime, let me invite somebody here. Simukonda, how are you doing, sir? Good evening and welcome to the show. Simukonda, Munibwanj. All right, so anyway, if you want to join, please check out the link in the description box, and then you're going to be able to have a conversation with me. And please, when you join, kusalapuka. Not if you're kula zinki mana kusalapuka ngawaisa kono, just come correct and let's have this conversation. So the other topic that I wanted to talk about is the issue of sustainability. So just like I told you a few days ago, right? Oh, and by the way, we did predict this to happen. First of all, the first thing that you're supposed to know about, Africans and Zambians in particular is we've got a herd mentality. So apa kuli UPND fever, UPND mania, if I can put it that way. So, people are just voting for anything that is red. Whenever they see a red, symbol or somebody who's belonging to the UPND, right, they're going to be voting left and right because it's the UPND's time. So, in order for you to be an opposition political party and be able to convince the people, right, you have to have sober characters. You have to have a very good, message, and you have to be able to do these things. And people like Christopher Kangombe. By the way, he hasn't paid me to talk about him and Doya Sav. In case you no. I'm just giving you an example. For example, people like Christopher Kangombe usually get support from across the board. People like Binwa Mpundu. These are solid individuals. So this is one of the reasons why the Patriotic Front have to be very careful because if they continue using the same faces, it's not really going to give them any good results. I mean, if you're sending Bowman Lusambo to go and campaign on your behalf, I mean, yeah, you've already lost. I'm sorry, you've already lost. Because the people still have got that, they are still facing the trauma, the political trauma, and all those things that were happening not so long ago. And by the way, this is only 6 months later. So people haven't really moved on, so it takes a little bit of time. Brother Perry, welcome to the show. How's Canada?
We had a bit of snow, but it's all good. We can't complain. We're used to it.
All right. So we did predict this particular outcome a few days ago, right? So are you surprised? Are you shocked?
Well, to be honest, I'm not really shocked, but there's so many lessons to be learned from this. And personally, my view is that UPND shouldn't have gone toe-to-toe with the PF.
How do you mean? Explain.
Well, here's the thing. One, there's a number of things that the UPND did take advantage of. And to be honest, what I take from this is that the people still love PF. And I would be sad if the UPND would rest on their laurels and wait and ride on their achievement.
How do you mean the people still love PF? Could you expand on that?
Look at the difference in the number of votes.
Well,
look at the difference.
Well, yeah, the reason why we have a very small margin is due to the fact that the PF structures are still intact. It's only been 6 months. The PF structures are still very fresh. They're still intact. The real test of PF popularity is going to be after, 2.5 years when half the mandate for the UPND is done. In 2024, 2023, that is when we're going to be able to measure how popular the PF are, from a realistic perspective.
But here's what I learned from this, okay?
Right.
What I'm learning from this is that if PF were to sit down and rebrand, they can form the next government. Because take a look at this. The UPND have branded these guys as thieves, okay? And yet no one has been arrested, okay? So the people are beginning to question the truth, okay? People are beginning to question the truth, and it's a pity that the UPND is not taking advantage of this and nailing those guys so at least they don't wake up again,
Right. So now that's a mouthful, and it's a very complex thing to talk about because do you think the Patriotic Front have got the unity in them to sort of come up with a concrete program and say, look, this is what we're going to do. If it means rebranding, we're going to do A, B, C, E, F, G. Because at this particular moment, right, everybody is a star in the Patriotic Front. We've got, Couts in the Patriotic Front. Like every faction of the Patriotic Front have got their own supporters, and there's likely to be a whole lot of division if there had to be, some sort of concrete plan, if I can put it that way, because I honestly do not see these people uniting and saying, look, we're going to do this and this is what we're going to go for and we're going to support one candidate.
But here's the thing though, and that's where the problem lies, right? Because if you look at this and then if their financiers look at this and say, oh, the gap is very narrow, so we can catch up, and then the financiers would backroll and then they'll give them more money, and that's why it is, and people associate PF with money, and if somebody was going to be there and then put the money there, and people would move.
Right, but who are these financiers, and do you think they've got the capability of being able to sustain and convince the funders who are going to be able to sustain the party? Because it takes a certain caliber of leader to do so. Because if you look at the UPND, right, and how the UPND were able to sustain themselves, right, it's because they had like a very, brilliant economist, businessman who's able to go out there, negotiate, and bring in deals. But who do you see doing this in the Patriotic Front? Who? Well, GBM, Brand Munduvile, who? Chishimba Kamwibwili.
I agree with you there, because that's why I'm saying all those guys that are trying to be presidents, right? They should just sit back and then just bring somebody new and say, agree to disagree. That's okay. Let's put somebody new, somebody fresh, and then the finances with the numbers that we have, they'll definitely finance them.
Yeah, that is true to some extent, but there is a named country from the Far East. Yeah. And, the Patriotic Front are obviously banking on this because they had a very good relationship with this named country from the Far East. But do you think this named country from the Far East will continue sustaining them? Because I really believe from that perspective, they do not care and they are not really here to cause political instability. They just support whoever is in power. So right now, the UPND is a new darling and they are going to be supporting the UPND. Why? West resources and funds sustaining something that is clearly not going to resuscitate itself in the nearest possible of time. Minimum that we're talking about with regards to the PF bouncing back is 10 years. Minimum. And I'm being very, very nice. So why would a funder, a financer, fund the Patriotic Front for the next 2 years when they can easily get cozy with the UPND and, make more money with them and, just get comfortable? Because this has already happened.
Well, here's the things. The financiers wouldn't join UPND because UPND is somewhat straightforward, right? So
are you sure?
Yeah, I'll give them about 60% straightforward. You know what I mean? Because look at this. If those the country from the Far East want to finance you, they say, okay, in return you have to give us ABCD, and I don't think the UPND would stoop so low to allow that. So
are you sure?
That I'm sure. I don't think they would stoop.
Let me give you a practical example. Do you remember the UPND fundraiser? Do you remember the UPND fundraiser not so long ago, right? We had that young, brilliant Zambian man who bought the jacket for, I don't know, 2 million kwacha.
Correct.
Do you remember, right?
Yes.
Did you take a look at his company, his team, the people who he is involved with? Did you take a look at his structure?
Well, I know he's doing very well, but again, you have to look at the modus operandi of that event, right? It was an open event.
Exactly.
So he went there, bought whatever he bought openly. So I wouldn't question that, because if the government were to kind of like give him deals, they say, oh, it's because of what he did there. But with financing, you don't even know who's paying who.
Yes,
you know
but what I'm trying to say is, you see, that brilliant entrepreneur has got people behind him. My question to you and to the viewers is, look into the people who are behind that person. Then you add one and one, and you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, let's move on from this because we don't want to get lawsuits. You were saying, Brother Perry.
Yeah, as I was saying, for me, what I get from there is that I don't think the candidate the UPND fielded there was that strong, and I have so much respect for that man. He's a lovely man, but I don't think he's a politician. And if you look at the shots that the guys were like, who's this one? Zayelo, what's his name? Lubinda and Kambwili, and if you look at the shots that those guys were uttering, and it leaves much to be desired. But here's the thing, though, the lies that the PF have been peddling have been bought by the people. That's why we have that such a difference.
But
okay?
How?
And people have like, they have not looked at the good that the UPND has done because there's no one to sell it.
But look at 2016. 2016, PF and UPND didn't really have that much of a difference with regards to the margins and the numbers, because the people of Zambia were still in love with the Patriotic Front, etc. And this time it's the same situation. You can't really manage to conclusively conclude and say, okay, this is what is going to be happening in the future, because number one, there's going to be way much more defections which are going to be happening across the Patriotic Front in the next 1 year, or basically from now till the next 2 years. There's going to be a lot of massive defections. We're going to see a lot of PF strong people migrating towards the UPND. We've already seen this with regards to the PF youths right now. A lot of PF youths are actually low-key kissing and trying to lick somebody's boot in order for them to get favor. So what's going to happen is there's going to be mass migration to the UPND. By the end of it all, PF is going to be left with nothing but, bones and skeletons. And how are they going to be able to do that? Besides that, they're going to be running out of money because their coffers are being depleted by the end of the day. Every day they're being depleted and they're being disorganized, disoriented, etc. So this is a very small time frame for us to say, look, the people of Zambia are still in love with the Patriotic Front. It's just too small of a time frame. And moreover, this is only Kabwata.
There's evidence in the numbers, Muna. There's evidence in the numbers. Look at how free and fair the elections were. There's no vote buying, and you have those numbers. It's for me. I think UPND have to sit down, take an introspection. Re-strategize, because if this continues, we'll see more people being on the fence, and that's why there's been voter apathy. People were on the fence.
You think?
Yeah, people on the fence. If somebody really wanted to vote, they would go out to go and vote.
Right. And wouldn't you say the reason why we had a very small margin is because, number one, of course, Honorable Andrew Tayengwa isn't the most vocal person. And of course, even me, I've never heard of this man before. That's number one. And number two, the reason why he probably won is because of His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema. The people were only voting for Honorable Andrew Tayengwa because of the UPND. It wasn't because of his personal effort and his personal attributes and his personal prowess. It's probably because of the fact that the Zambian people are still in love with the UPND. But one important thing that you have to think about is Kabwata has always been a strong, staunch PF home, if I can put it that way. Given Lubinda has been running Kabwata and he's got tabs on Kabwata like crazy, but they managed to do it not only once, but twice. And moreover, yesterday wasn't really the best day to have elections, and it was a wrong day. Thursday, people didn't really have a lot of time because the majority of residents in Kabwata are obviously, workers, and there are people who are, very busy. So you should also consider that as well. Unless if it was a holiday, a public holiday, and people were home and they were able to do what they have to do, I'm sure we could have seen different numbers. What's your say?
Well, for me, that changes nothing, because we can get the ratios and then multiply the number of votes that they got, multiply that by the number of registered voters. So UPND would have still won. But what I'm saying is that one, UPND are not doing themselves justice by not communicating with the people, and this is they are selling themselves short, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, what I was expecting to see was PF getting at least 20% of the total vote cast. But right now, if you look at the total number of votes cast, excluding the one that have been voided, you find that PF has 41%, UPND has 49%. That's not nice. It's not.
Definitely.
And the president had to come in. If the president didn't come in to drum up support for Tayengwa, he would have lost the elections.
You think?
Yes, by far he would have lost the elections.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why there was a problem with and here's the thing though, whatever mud the PF were throwing at Tayengwa, it really stuck, because people began to question his nationality. He's Zambian by nation. I agree, he's Zambian, but PF have allowed these guys. No, UPND have allowed these guys to to be vocal, and if you look at PF, they have people who are more vocal than UPND.
Exactly.
And that's where the problem is, because one, arrest these guys. Like you have evidence that
I mean, if they've got cases to answer, we're not just saying go by default arrest them. No, we're saying if they've got cases to answer.
The evidence that these guys have stolen. As long as these guys are roaming free, we'll continue seeing that, and it's going to be a sorry sight for UPND.
Definitely. So anyway, Brother Perry, let me also introduce some new some other people as well. Maxwell Lukama, unmute yourself. Welcome to the show. And yeah, what is your opinion?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mona. My opinion is, at first,
Maxwell, can you do us a favor? Can you reduce the volume in the background, because it is disturbing us? Just turn off whatever is playing in the background. Make it very easy.
Thank you. I've done so.
All right. Okay.
Are you getting me now clear now?
Yeah,
yes.
But there is
first and foremost, what you should understand is PF. They are the one who dominated Lusaka at the first place. They have dominated Lusaka for a long period of time, even before they came into power. They already dominated Lusaka and Copper Belt. So now for UPND, for them to start scooping up the Lusaka cities, it's not easy. As for me, it's a big achievement of seeing that UPND in recent, they have achieved a lot of cities in Lusaka, or constituencies in Lusaka. Reason is very simple. When you are entering someone's territory, you need to struggle. And yes, they got the first city quite all right, but understand that they still had the popularity in Lusaka when it comes to the party structures. So as for me, it's really big achievement. It would have been maybe terrible if they lost the city, but seeing that they have won the city, I think to me it's a big achievement to the UPND party. Thank you. That's what I just wanted to contribute on it.
Right. Thanks, Marco. So stay on the line. We'll get back to you. Brother Simkonda, unmute yourself and yeah, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, good evening, Brother Mona. Good evening, everyone and the viewers there.
Evening.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I think I concur with the previous speaker. Looking at the history of Lusaka and the Copper Belt, you find that PF dominated Lusaka and Copper Belt even before the time of PF was in opposition. So for UPND, this is the a good achievement. So now coming to the PF, I think the PF part, it's gone. Looking at the people who are in forefront, looking at the Bowman Lusambo, the Nakachinda, and given Lubinda, I think the PF is not going anywhere. They are saying that they want to rebrand the political party. There's nothing like rebranding there. I think what I can say that the Chishimba. Yes,
So,
Brother Mono.
okay. Yeah, so okay, let's not really focus on the Patriotic Front, because obviously there are other political parties that ended up performing or rather participating in this particular by-election. So besides the Patriotic Front, which other political parties were you fascinated by, and which ones performed very well? And were you shocked by any performance from any opposition political party in particular?
Yeah, I was expecting the DP to perform very well, because that is the part that I've seen which will be the main opposition political party. I think the reason is because of the confusion that they have. So I hope for the DP to resolve this issue that they have. It will be a great opposition political party. And
Yes, but the
expected
DP,
yes.
sorry for cutting you off. The DP, just to be precise, got about 124 votes, which is very minimal. And that one was really, really shocking. And everybody has got high hopes with regards to Harry Kalava. And I really believe Harry Kalava is a very good contender. And he's got a chance to, basically make a name for himself. But this confusion in the DP, within the DP, is not really helping the party. So they definitely have to do something to amend that and make sure they are back on track. And otherwise, if they continue being very divided, I guess the numbers are going to continue dwindling, and it's going to be a very sorry sight. But anyway, I digress. Brother Simkonda, continue.
Yes. So, yeah, I'm hoping for the DP to resolve the issue. That will be the main opposition political party, and have faith in Ari Kalava to offer the checks and the balances to the ruling party. For the PF, it's gone. It's just that these people, they want the presidency. The moment they just elect the president, everyone will go away. That will be the end of the PF. So for the GP, they have to work on that the same confusion that they have. I think that is what I can say for now.
All right. Thanks, Brother Simkonda. So stay on the line. So, Brother Perry, what other political parties impressed you? And what can you say about the performance of these other political parties? And do you have any other hopes in any other opposition political party besides the PF?
Well, the Socialist Party did well, and kudos to them. But I think I'm more interested in Tayali, though. I think he should continue doing what he does. And
yes, Tayali actually outperformed himself.
He should continue doing what he does, and he shouldn't just, pretty much pay attention to these naysayers. He did really well. If you look at these other guys, they have money, and with
exactly, and that's a very great point, Brother Perry. Sorry for cutting you off. Chilufe Tayali, in comparison to DP, I really believe DP has got a well-organized structure in comparison to EEP, but Chilufe Tayali got more than triple their numbers.
Exactly.
So obviously, if Tayali is well-funded and if people back him, I mean, there's something in there. There is something in there.
I'll back him next time. I'll send him something.
Definitely. And speaking about Chilufe Tayali, right? Because he's not a very decisive character, because we saw him stand for presidency, then the mayor position. Now, as an MP, there is a little bit of tangible progress. So do you think he should be handling this lower tier position and then work his way up instead of being overly ambitious and standing as a president?
No, I think one thing that people have forgotten is the strategy that he's using. The strategy is to sell himself, and Chilufe Tayali is becoming a household name because people are always talking about him, and what I would just urge him is to continue on this trajectory, and then pretty much one day things will be okay for him. Because look at he got 420.
Yes.
Look at GP, look at UNIPE, look at PEP, you know.
Yes.
And with very, very like making resources that he had nothing, and he put funds from here and there, and then he gets that. I think he did well. I would give him a 70% actually.
Right. So, what do you think about Sean Tembo? Because, to be honest, a lot of people categorize. Well, I don't really mean to be disrespectful or anything like that. A lot of people categorize, let's say, Chilufete Ali and Sean Tembo. They put them like in the same box, you know. But based on these metrics, right? Obviously, Chilufete Ali has got like a way much bigger hand in, well, with regards to, or rather, in comparison to PEP. And what do you think about the PEP situation? They get a very good response, or rather responses on social media, but they're not really converting those social media comments, likes into tangible, real people votes. What do you think about that?
Again, if you look at the, if let's say we were to put the total number of votes are cast into percentages, you'll find that PEP has 0%.
You know, I mean, I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah, honestly, but I have the spreadsheet right here, and Chilufete Ali has 2%. So he's done better than him by far. You know,
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so to all the people watching us right now, thank you very much for being part of Z Corner. We are coming to you live from the Z Corner virtual studios because we are all over the place. And I want to remind you to kindly like this video if you're watching me on Facebook, because we are streaming in on multiple platforms. We're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on our second Facebook page, and also on YouTube as well. So if you are hearing the voice, or rather the sound of my voice, kindly hit the like button, share this video on your Facebook timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because it does help us grow the page. And moreover, we are the voice for the youths and the voice of Zambians in general, because we built this particular platform to let the community talk, to let the people participate and get involved. So you supporting Z Corner is also supporting the progressive development of Zambia, because your voices are definitely important. So anyway, gentlemen, while we're waiting for the people to continue sharing and tagging people, let's talk to Brother Maxwell Lukuma. So Brother Maxwell, are you impressed by the Socialist Party performance, and what type of adjustments would you recommend them to, to make? What type of tweaks are they supposed to be implementing right now? You can unmute yourself.
Sorry, I think on if you're commenting on Tayali, this guy, according to me, I know is kind of a person who has who wants to gain popularity. In short, was already gained popularity, but he needs to be focused on one point. Because a lot of people, they have seen that there's no stability in Tayali. Reason being is, if you look like the way my colleague is also from Seer, he stood for a mayoral. He went again for presidency. Now he's there for MP. So a lot of people, they're not seeing the stability of consistency of Tayali. He's just moving here and there. So he needs just one, he needs to have funding. 2, he needs to be focused on one point. What does he want? Does he want to be a mayoral position, or a councillor, or maybe presidency? So if he chooses one and he happen to be with other people who can take the other position, it can be better, and I believe the party can go far, and can even challenge it for the. Can be one of the president's contenders, or can be one of the best opposition party. Because for DP, the problem is, there are a lot of people fighting for the presidency. You hear this, they say, no, we just invited him in, and then this says, no, he's the owner of the party. Such kind of confusions, it makes the followers to back up, to back down. You see, they will start to say, these people we are following, it's like they have no direction, they have no future. So in such a way, you find that people, they will start dropping, because I understand that those people who went in other parties, I think it will be difficult for them to get back. Remember that DP, they had MP, they had a member of parliament. So in such a way, that showed that they had gained the popularity. Now, as we are saying, if you look at this man who was MP in Western Province, this man thank you, Hamdu Duhaib. You look at Hamdu Duhaib. Hamdu Duhaib, he has gained the popularity in a few. Let me say, he never campaigned worldwide.
Yeah, but I've got a very strong and weird conspiracy theory on that one. Can I give it to you? It's a very weird one, but you know, it's a very weird one. So my personal analysis is the reason why I think people voted for Hamdu Duhaib is because they were so in love with UPND, and they were thinking, obviously, HH or Hamdu Duhaib, he belongs to, you know, these regions, etc. So that's why they by default voted for him, because, you know, Hamdu Duhaib, the name obviously sounds like one of those typical names of the people who are generally sympathizing for the you know, UPN destruction. So this is one of the reasons why he got those votes. But you know, we'll see whether he was going to be able to reciprocate the results that he got, because at this particular moment, right, I'm not really seeing him being very ferocious with regards to continuing the momentum, because momentum is something that you have to measure and you have to maintain. Let's say, for example, right now, Chilufe Tayali seems to be picking momentum, you know, while other people like, you know, Hamdu Duhaib, they are kind of losing that momentum with regards to keeping up appearances and all that stuff, because by the end of it all, people's memories always stick, and the more you like bang them, the more you keep on, you know, being there and just being seen, you're going to continue that momentum, because once momentum is lost, it's very difficult for you to like gain back that momentum. So my conspiracy theory is people were voting for Hamdu Duhaib because they thought, you know, he's part of UPND or something like that. So yeah, that's just my weird conspiracy theory. But anyway, I digress.
Thank you. Thank you, Mona, for that help. Yes, like I just said, you know, for DP, they need to resolve their problems. If they resolve their problems in time, that means they are going to be a big challenger for the city, for President City, coming 2026.
But why would you vie for the DP? Why would you vie for them? Why? What's so unique and outstanding about them? Why?
Because Harry already has the popularity, you know, and if you are well known, because all the members of the PF, some were splitted, some followed Harry Kalaba. So when you look at the northern region, they also would want to see Kalaba. So in that way, the northern region will be splitted, Lusaka and the Copper Belt. All these, they are going to split, they're going to share. So that means it's really highly, here in Northwestern, I remember when Harry Kalaba came here, a lot of people backed up on him, said, no, we can give him a vote, we can give him a vote, we can give him a vote. And that really showed me to say, if this person tried to remain strong, I think he would have also gained the popularity in Northwestern.
Great. I get it. Brother Perry, you wanted to chime in. I hope you kept your thoughts.
I think a few days ago, I said that of the three candidates, that's the guy for PF, UPND, and EEP. For me, I think Tayali stood out, though. It's a pity that he didn't get the votes, but for the sake of democracy, I would have loved him to win, though.
Definitely.
No, yeah, you need somebody to nudge those guys in parliament. You know, it doesn't have to go one way all the time. You know, and if people are making bad decisions in there, he's the kind of guy who's gonna say no. You know. but there are
definitely.
guys who just go with the wind, you know, and I
But
don't know. They're all good
what
guys,
what do you think is the biggest problem with Chulu Fetali? Because definitely he's got. And then the big man has got Kariaka something career. He's got that, but what do you think is holding him back?
Here in Canada, for smaller things, we call them the pap and mom shop, right? So the party is the pap and mom party. Everything is decided in the bedroom. So that's one thing. But what I would say is, I think he needs to bring people on board. He needs the help that he can get from others, because he doesn't have to make all the decisions as one person. Him and his wife, they say, okay, where are we gonna get the money from? We're getting from our savings, and you know. And the other thing is, I said it earlier. He has to watch what he says, okay? Because
he's a loose cannon.
No, not that. That's fine. But when he says I have
yeah, that loses. You know, the integrity points go down when he says that.
yeah, and that's the only problem I have with him, where he wants to eat from something all the time, and then it's, yeah,
definitely.
In terms of him, and I think my colleague already said, like he's everywhere, right? So he needs to choose which kind of positions he's gonna vie for, because right now at least he's built that following, so he only has to sustain it. And
yes.
and the way he can sustain it is you know, by being mature in the way he presents himself. Not in the
Right.
You're like, he seems as if he's corrupt, you know. When someone says that, I tend to question him, you know.
Definitely. So he does you know, lag a little bit behind with regards to, you know, character, and sometimes I personally, first of all, Chulu Fetali is a very good friend of the show. We really love him here. He's always invited and welcome. And of course, it's not very good to make these public criticisms, especially if you know somebody. But hey, we are having a show and we're having this type of honest talk. So personally, I really believe that if Chulu Fetali was properly well funded, and this is where I talked about the idea of funding. You see, running a political party is not just something that you know, you can easily do. You need to have a structure. You need to have business people, you know, within your circles. You need to be able to, you know, outsource certain services and be able to get good results. For example, you need to have, you know, a proper technical team in case you need to have worldwide donations. People can easily chime in and support you. So you need to have a very good, well-structured organization, and this really it takes a lot of effort. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of my you know, colleagues are saying you can't really be making decisions as a one-man band type of political party. You need to have a very good structure and organize yourselves, and then lobby for finances. When you do that, right, you're going to have more finances, and you're going to be able to have dignity and integrity. Because I really believe that one of the reasons why he talks about these things, right, is because of, you know, the financial challenges that the political party, well, the EEP as a political party go through. Because obviously running a political party, you need to be giving kickbacks to the people who are going to be supporting you, etc. So you need to definitely have like more sustenance on the financial perspective, or rather aspect of running your political party. Because from an individual basis, no matter how strong and how financially able you are, you know, you just can't sustain a political party using your own individual funds. This is one of the reasons why you need to be able to sustain the political party from a financial perspective, which is obviously going to be lobbying for finances and just getting investors, etc. And this comes with maturity, because not a lot of people are going to be able to invest money in you when you are sort of, you know, acting like a blogger. You know, you have to be like a real serious politician, and, you know, avoid being, or rather looking like a blogger and somebody who's just, you know, here to entertain the people. So that is something that I would advise my older brother, actually, Fetali, to do, to seriously introspect and look for shrewd businesses to help him run the EEP as, you know, a genuine political party with nice financial backings, and with his, you know, antics and his capability to influence and be able to market himself. I'm sure he would really, really, you know, give a lot of these political parties a tough time to compete with him, because he's a very shrewd market. and influencer.
Well, and the other thing is, I would say kudos to him, because it's not very easy to run a political party, right? And just to add on what you said, he doesn't have to stop talking about EEP right now. It has to be ongoing. Whenever he has his broadcast, he talks about it. He tries to bring people in, and then because if he continues building on whatever he has right now, he's gonna have a formidable party. Because right
Exactly.
now, the only party that I would think of joining is maybe MMD or EEP. Maybe I can try to to help him run the course as well. But I like the guy anyways. To be honest, I like the guy, and so sometimes he says things that I don't like, but most of the time he says sense, and what he just needs, as you rightly said, is he needs that financial backing. He needs people with him. He needs to, whenever there's this small by-election for the councillors, he needs to start fielding people in there just to to keep the name going. Otherwise,
Exactly.
he's done really really well, and I'm so happy. I'm happy for him.
Right.
He hasn't lost his one in this election. That's how I look at it.
Exactly. And speaking about financing, right? One of the political parties, well, the opposition political parties that really impressed me during the August 12th, 2021 general election was the DP. The DP were able to get into, the diverse parts of Zambia, and they were able to just go in and, cause damage with regards to being able to campaign and reach those the furthest parts of the country. So as far as financial organization is concerned, I think the DP has, they understand how these things work. So if people like Chilufetali can be able to get those attributes and be able to add them to whatever game plan they have, I'm sure they're going to be doing very well. And besides, or rather, the other political party in Africa that really does well from a financial perspective is the EF, the Malema political party in South Africa. Those guys are very well funded. So I saw Raphael Nakachinda were having, these conversations with, the EF party, Julius Malema. I'm sure maybe he could get some tips, etc. But EF is a very great model to emulate with regards to understanding how a political party needs to run, how you can be able to grow your influence with regards to being controversial. And because by the end of it all, if you're only being controversial and you don't really have the financial backing, you're just going to look like a madman. So you need to be a man of integrity, you need to have financial backing, etc. So all these things our political parties need to be able to understand and know how to play the game. Gentlemen, what's your say? By the way, Socialist Party, let's talk about the Socialist Party, because I want to dive deep into the Socialist Party. Fred Membe and the performance and his financial capabilities as well. Because to me, it's a little bit disappointing because Fred Membe is a seasoned Zambian influential person with regards to the political landscape, because he ushered in the Patriotic Front in 2010, and he did very well. But I'm not really seeing the Socialist Party infiltrating the political landscape as they should, due to the fact that they have this gigantic, ginormous financial muscle, and they also have the know-how. They know how to do things. They know how things run. So I was expecting them to have a bigger impact. What do you think about the Socialist Party? Maxwell Lukama. Then we'll go to Brother Perry. Unmute yourself, then you can continue.
Brother Perry can start, then I'll end up, I'll do the last.
Lovely, sure.
Give that chance, brother.
One of my friends was discussing this as well, and I'll just pretty much ride on his words, right? He said, why would you want to entrust somebody to be president when he was busy evading taxes, So for me, that was a punch below the belt. But to be honest, I haven't really read what those guys are all about. but one good thing is that he has a heart for the youth, and he keeps on feeding young people in that, and that's a good strategy. But I don't have a lot to say about him, but I have my own reasons why I wouldn't want to side with him, and
Which
for me,
are
for me, I would gladly vote for Nevers Mumba. Between him and Nevers Mumba, I would go for Nevers Mumba.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think we had this conversation a while back. I really think one of the people that the Zambian people are they're neglecting is Nevers Mumba. And this is going to come as a shocking to a lot of Zambians. Do not underestimate Dr. Nevers Mumba. Dr. Nevers Mumba is going to surprise everybody because anyway, let me not talk much about that. Brother Perry, continue.
Yeah, for the reason I say Nevers Mumba is that one, he's very mature, and he's one man where whatever he says sense in him, and if I were to compare all the presidents for the opposition parties, I think he stands out. There's no one who can beat him. But again, it's how he manages to assemble his party and strategize. Again, the thing is, there's this thing in Zambia where they say if a party is voted out of power, that's it, it's dead. And I was just thinking, is it the right time for Nevers Mumba to abandon the MMD and bring something new? But again, he has a following. Again, that's that he has, So for me, I don't know. It's
but you know the approach that I would love a lot of African potential political leaders to the type of approach that I would love them to implement. They're supposed to control the narrative, and sometimes they're supposed to be working with people because you need to identify new talent. When you identify new talent, right, rally behind them, advise them. When these new faces are able to cater to a new demographic, your political party is going to do well. But our political leaders, especially those in the opposition, they want to do everything themselves. And this is the problem.
Well, Muna, that's a great point. I think we spoke about this.
Right.
The problem that we have with our political parties right now is the lack of succession leadership.
Yes.
And that's why PF is in this problem, because there was no succession leadership.
Exactly.
You can have these, okay, let's say we're going to choose 10 people. These are neutral guys in the background that people don't know about. We are going to groom you into politics.
Right.
And when the time comes to have a convention, people choose from the 10, But
exactly.
And that's why I don't know about the UPND as well. For example, if let's say HH is not there, is there somebody else who can carry on with this vision?
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one.
And that's why in the case of Zambia, it's always been the same. We will make like 40 steps forward, and then we make 120 steps backward, and then that's why we are not progressing, because the vision of the party dies with the guy who was in front. Look at PF. The moment Sata died, everything went with him.
Imagine.
And that's where the problem is. Look at UNIP. The moment the guy was out of power, everything, and that's why people say that when a party in Zambia is voted out, it dies. It's because there is no one to carry the vision. There's no succession leadership.
Right. And if you take a look at the candidates that were representing their political parties here, there's just a few names that you would, know immediately. For example, PEP, Mulea Henry. I do not know who Mulea Henry is. Muyowa Kennedy, Mziechi Ingiwe, Mubanga Fred from the DP, Ziambo Sydney, Ngandu Trifa, Ankoti is, slightly known ET. So these are the things that we're talking about. Political opposition leaders need to groom the young ones. But the thing is, Mozambia, we are afraid of, okay, if I do this, But it's about the organization. It's about the whole team. You see, when the Patriotic Front wins, everybody collectively wins. But they think like, okay, if I'm Bowman Lusambo, right? Let's say I do not bring somebody else to replace me in Kabwata. Then fiance, I'm a deal yonse apam. You need to be able to understand what's going on and also groom other people as well, so that when there is a vacancy or when there are, rejections with regards to the majority of the people and how they perceive you, you still can be able to compete. Because now what we're observing is the Patriotic Front have got no other option but to use the same usual faces, because these usual faces are the ones that are popular, they are the most controversial, and they feel, okay, if we've got these same guys, right, we're going to be able to at least do something. But the biggest problem is they do not have anybody else to succeed them and just basically be able to take the political party further. And this is one of the reasons why I kept on giving the example of, Christopher Kangombe. Brilliant guy. When he talks, everybody, UPND, DEP, everybody agrees and says that is a brilliant young man. But why is he being overshadowed? Why? So, Brother Maxwell, your opinion. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. I think I would concur, Brother Perry. But as for me, I would second on Dr. Nevas Mumba. If it comes to the...
You muted yourself. Unmute yourself one more time.
Coming to the parties, I think like the way you stated it, they lack people. When you know that a term is just 10 years, somebody should stand for 10 years. Meaning, as you are picking one to stand, you should have someone behind that person to market that person, to make that person popular, so that as you are going out, there can be somebody backing up. Like as Brother Perry said, if HH died today, we just assume if HH died today, if God forbid died today, who's going to succeed? Meaning, so far as it stands, there will be now stamp of this, of saying this one, just like that. Like Brother Perry said, when it comes to Sata, when Sata died, they didn't have a person whom they can say, if this one goes, I think this one can succeed this city. This one can take the city. That's why we ended up in the situation, and that's why they are like the way they are. Because if they introduce some people who are honest to the party that can come on the board, at least who they don't have what they were doing at the back, it's easy. PF can return to power coming 2026. But it's unfortunate that the people who are in front, are the people who have got bad records, which comes difficulty and challenging for some other people to trust those people to say, I think if you can pick maybe Kamwibwili, no, the party can still survive and Kamwibwili can do good things. But if now people, they are looking at what Kamwibwili has done in the past, his movements, so such kind of things surely can make the people to fail to believe in the people who are trying to say that they are rebranding the party. So rebranding, they need to bring in people who are not known, who have their CVs hidden, and they try to to show off now their CVs while they are getting to the party. But if they say we are rebranding and there is Kamwibwili there in front, and definitely Kamwibwili is fighting for the presidency. So these are other Nakachinda and the others also. They're also fighting for the same city, which becomes a challenge when one of these guys who are in front, they left them out. Definitely, if Kamwibwili is not going to be picked out, he will back off. The way I've seen Kamwibwili, the way he has been talking on the social media, the way he has been standing there, I think I don't see stability in such people like Kambwili. So that's what I just wanted to
Definitely. So in the meantime, if you are hearing the sound of my voice, I am here. The sharing bandit, because I always remind you to like and share the video. So in case you haven't done this and you've just joined us, kindly share the video, share it on your Facebook timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to, because it does definitely help us, you know, feel motivated. Come motivation. So I think that we know, okay, the people back us and they support us. And also like the video, because we need to have at least 200 shares and at least, you know, 300 likes by the end of the live stream. Now, gentlemen, I've got a question for you. How come we never saw anything coming from the, you know, from the former president of Zambia? Where is Edgar Lungu, and what is his opinion with regards to everything that is happening, and why is he silent? So let me allow the newcomers, Brother Nabuzoka, kindly turn on your video and give us your opinion. Brother Oscar, you're going to be next up as well. So Brother Nabuzoka, kindly turn on your video and unmute yourself if you are able to hear me. Nabuzoka. Okay, Brother Nabuzoka should be sleeping. All right, so let's bring on Brother Oscar. We need to see your face, Brother Oscar. Bon appetit.
Grazie mille.
Great. So, Brother Oscar, what's happening to Edgar Lungu? Well, Edgar Lungu, bari kwisa. Sure, nanguka statement tiba ponyapo pa Facebook. Ka statement one time.
And Mr. Moon, I think, good evening, Mr. Perry. Good evening, and good evening, other friend, Maxwell. And good evening, all the viewers. I was just eating a kiwi. All right. I think, Mr. Muna, the former president, Edgar Chagwa is one of the PF problems. No one is going to talk about that because, and unfortunately, that is one of the problems with the PF. They would not touch that button, but it's part and parcel of their downfall. The insecurity, they did not change the presidency, and they have given all the excuses to say, well, we are waiting for the convention. These are the explanations they gave. We are waiting for the convention, and after the convention, then ex-president Edgar Chagwa Lungu is going to hand over the presidency to the new person. So, according to me, this is one of the confusions in the need for the Patriotic Fund to rebrand. They cannot rebrand. How do they rebrand? There's nothing clear with the ex-president and his position, his status. And he cannot say anything because now you can see how many cases surrounding his ex-ministers. I don't know what to call them, ex-ministers or whatever. So many cases surrounding them. And Mr. Muna, there is a very famous phrase that I'm getting from the Anti-Corruption Commission. They are saying this one has been found with the unknown, with the unknown person.
What does that mean now? Why do you think they're using that phrase to be precise? They don't want speculation.
That is very, very intelligent way of statement. The unknown. If at all we will encourage the Anti-Corruption Commission is to go and find out who is the unknown, Mr. Muna. So I think the president, Mr. Lungu, cannot say a word. Whatever he's going to say will implicate his former ministers. And of course, he will attract questions. Zambians have a lot of questions. They had questions during his presidency. He never answered to the Zambians. He never spoke to the Zambians. And even more than this time, we have a lot of questions that we would love. Zambia would love to ask our former president why certain things were happening. Now, if he opens his mouth, Mr. Moon, I think he will attract a lot of observation and desire to explain to the citizen of Zambia. And that's what I think he has kept quiet. They have suggested to him, of course, to keep quiet.
Definitely. So, my fellow panelists, why do you think we are seeing, I don't know, giving up from people like GBM? Because GBM had a very good political play. He had his daughter, is it Sivongile? But unfortunately, her seat was nullified as well. Do you think GBM has accepted defeat and he will no longer, try to play in these political scenes? Because it seems he's got a very bad sense of judgment. Had he stuck with the UPND, he would be, increasing the calories that he intakes, and he would have been maintaining his weight right now. But of course, that's just me being a little bit funny. Sorry.
That's
I'm doing too much. Yeah. So anyway, GBM is nowhere on the scene. He's accepted defeat. He's a little bit depressed, and he's no longer got the energy to, be as vocal as these other people. Because right now, I'm obviously sure he's negotiating his way back into the good books of the UPND, because he was whining and dining with him. And because we all know that GBM bad son. So if GBM had to go back to the UPND, how would the general citizens react? Do you think there's going to be an uproar? And what would you advise people like GBM to do right now? Anybody can go for that one.
I would suggest, Mr. Moon, I would suggest 5 years holiday. You should take
hibernation.
Silence for, yes, hibernation, 5 years. When you go silent for 5 years, probably when you come back, people would also thank you to say, well, you have humbled yourself. You knew your mistakes. GBM has done a lot of mistakes. He's just like, I heard Mr. Perry giving some information. I think there was another gentleman on another candidate who is Chilufya Tayali. People like GBM, Chilufya Tayali, you cannot trust them. If they change worse than a chameleon, you climbed on a green tree, you become green. You go on a blue tree, you become blue. Look at Chilufya Tayali, changing from this, from that. Nobody knows who he is. What does he want? The same with GBM. From PF, he comes to UPND and he says, I will destroy PF. From PF, he goes back to from UPND, he goes back to PF and they say, I know Hakainde Chilema, that guy is a bad man. That guy is so egoistic. He just works with himself. He doesn't want anyone to work with. Now, how is he going back to his vomit? It's very, very difficult for GBM. So I think, for me, better you wait for 5 years, just as many members of parliament in PF, if in the Patriotic Front, if they would like to come back on board on UPND, just like whatever Madam Wawa Kukalulushi, Mr. Mona, whatever Madam Wawa Kalulushi, I don't know if somebody can help me. Rashida, yes, just like Rashida. It is offensive to the UPND who suffered a lot just to bring in someone. You failed, you lost, and you come in bragging to say, I was voting for HH, I love HH. Come on, keep a bit quiet. Respect the people who suffered a lot. Keep silent. Put the things cool. Respect those people who are slapped, beaten, thrown in jail without trial, without any serious case. So, an advice for me, can GBM come to UPND? Yes, he can, but I think after 5 years might be a very good idea and advice. Thank you.
Right. And the other question that I have, if my panelists do not have any other contributions, to be precise here, I would love to find out how to properly be an opposition political party. Because if you look at the comment coming through from Chilufya Vuala, right, she says, it doesn't rain, he blames President HH. Storm Anna is President HH. That's Sean Tembo for you. So if you look at the way Sean Tembo is doing politics, is that an effective way of running your political party and offering checks and balances? What is the ideal way of being an opposition political party in Africa, and to be precise, in Zambia? Because in South Africa, we've got Julius Malema doing a very phenomenal job. You know, he's got the international community rallying behind him, and he offers proper checks and balances, which are very tangible. So in Zambia, how do you become a very efficient opposition political party? How do you conduct yourselves? Can you give any prime examples if there are any political parties that offer tangible checks and balances in Zambia? Anybody to go for that one? Brother Perry.
You know, that's a lovely question, by the way. But you know, people say that the wheel that makes the most noise gets the attention, right? And that's pretty much what Mr. Sean Tembo is using. But the problem is, you have to know when to make noise. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that you have to say. You choose to say, okay, this I can say. Not even every small thing you're there amplifying it, and like as if you have a personal vendetta against somebody. Like, yeah, for me, I look at him as a petulant politician. He's so childish, and I don't know what to get from him. But look, I'll give you another example again. Look at how Dr. Nevers conducts his politics.
Right.
That's how it's supposed to. Politics that's mature, you know.
But would that work in an environment like ours? Because, okay, let's peel back the layers, because I always love studying history. Let's look at the way Michael Chilufya Sata was able to gain momentum. Let's briefly talk about how Michael Sata was able to you know, get the people to rally behind the Patriotic Front. Let's look at his tactics and how he was able to outwit the UPND. Of course, he had a lot of experience because he was once with the MMD, and, you know, he was like a very influential figure in the political landscape. So we do understand he had the tactics, he had the maneuvers, he had the blueprint, but he started from scratch.
Here's the thing, Muna. With the internet right now, politics keeps on changing. So it's not a one size fits all. Okay, Mr. Sata came with more money in the pocket because that's what the people wanted to hear. You know, everyone wanted money in the pocket, and he used that to his advantage. You know, but we are reaching a stage where when you say, "I'll give you more money in the pocket," people are beginning to question how. And look at what's happening to HH right now. He said the moment he's on in, the dollar is gonna go down, and people are on him. You know, he said Forest 27 was gonna be, you know, he would demolish everything there. People are on him. So as I said, I think we have to look at leaders that try to, you know, practice reasonable politics. And for me, there's no better person than Dr. Nevers Mumba, because
Dr. Nevers Mumba.
Exactly.
Yeah, but talking about Dr. Nevers Mumba, do you think his diplomacy would convert into results? Because, number one, look at Sean Tembo. Sean Tembo's tactics are not working. So Sean Tembo's team, I'm sure quite a number of you are watching us, you need to go back to the drawing board. Yes, you've got the social media accolades and the numbers and the reactions. That is all good. But with regards to tangible results and actually converting those social media followers and sympathizers and reactions, etc., it's not really working. So you need a different strategy. So if we look at our current political landscape, besides the PF, right, which opposition political party is having very good checks and balances, good social media, good vocal presence? They are everywhere, and they're also gaining momentum with regards to converting people on the ground and increasing their overall structures as well. Because by the end of it all, politics in Zambia is all about numbers. You need to have MPs in parliament in order for you to be tangible and be able to vote for or against notions, bills, etc. So it's a very diverse and sophisticated game. So which politicians, or rather opposition political parties, do you feel are hitting the nail on from all angles? Anybody to go for that one? Unmute yourself.
Now, I would say none. I would say none because right now most of them are still looking at what the failures of this new government are going to be, and that's why I said earlier on that it's a pity that the UPND, they sell themselves short, because they've done quite a lot, but you know, no one is going on top of the hill and drumming up about what they've done, you know. So right now, for me, it's all about sensitization, and if the UPND can continue doing that, it's going to be very difficult for these other guys to come up with things against them. So for now, as I said, the only party that seems to be making a little bit of noise, I'll go for the MMD again.
Right, gentlemen. Any other additions? Brother Oscar, go for it.
Right. For me, I've seen a young man who is really a very, very, very good investment for the nation, and this is the Golden Party president,
Jackson Silabwe. Yeah.
Jackson Silabwe. If I have to be realistic, Jackson Silabwe is a stable mind, very focused, has his own identity, which needs in politics, and that led President Hakainde Hichilema to stay so long in opposition without changing colors. Hakainde Hichilema kept himself, his identity from his former president who died, may his soul rest in peace. Up to now, Hakainde Hichilema would go back and tell the Zambians what was the former UPND president, what's the name? You can help me.
Well, are you talking about
Anderson
Mazoka?
Mazoka, yes. Mr. Muna, you can go to Hakainde Hichilema. He became president. He go to Anderson Mazoka's grave. Thank this gentleman. He kept Anderson Mazoka's dream. Decentralization was Anderson Mazoka's dream, and we can say that the dream of the PF, more money in the Zambian pockets, Anderson Mazoka had that one, and now Hakainde Hichilema is implementing it with the decentralization. The Zambians can hold some businesses. Zambians can use the 25 million kwacha in their constituencies. Great move. And so this gentleman I can see on TV, Mr. Muna, he is the promise for the future. Actually,
yes, but if you look at his attributes, yes, he's got that intellectualism, and he's got what it takes. But just like I said, right, politics in Zambia is about hitting the nails from different angles. You know, you just can't be you need to do everything. Basically, you need to be effective from all angles. Yes, he's a very sane type of person, but if you look at the ground and him propelling his political party to the next, I'm not really seeing much of it. Maybe he's in the beginning, the infancy stage.
This man, my dear, this man is investing for a future, to become a future leader. He has no haste. He's not hurrying, and that's why one day when I tried to call and advise him to join the UPND, he said, I think I have something which is different with Hakainde Hichilema, who I really respect. He's a very successful businessman, but there's something which we are very much different. And this man, I saw that he stood his firm. Even now, you can listen to his comments on certain issues. Today in the morning, when the first tweet that he did, this guy was to congratulate the UPND member of parliament. Yes, and he said, thank you so much. We are thankful as Zambians for the win of UPND win in Kabwata. You know, he's so much realistic, this guy, and I really have a lot of trust, and especially that he has no haste. He's building his party slowly. He has some young men behind him. He has collaborators, really. Some of them I know them, and I've heard the way they speak. they have an identity. And like Perry talked about, Neighbors Mumbai is a good man. He's a good man, but rebranding UNIP, I think it might be quite a challenge. Probably if you join in hands
let's talk about
with another party.
his structures as well, because like I said, in Zambia, it's not just about you as an individual and you know, being reasonable. You have to have the structures, you have to have finances, you have to be public, you have to be vocal, like be featured on TV, have live videos, and not just, you know, text posts, because by the end of it all, the majority of Zambians are not really going to resonate with you. You need to be out there, like the way Chilufya, Michael Chilufya Sata was. He would be on Radio Ichengelo, he would be on ZNBC, he would be everywhere, and people would be able to like recognize him. So with regards to the way Jackson Slavo is playing the game right now, I really believe he's a very reasonable person, but I feel like he needs to do more, expand his structures, go out there, be on ZNBC, be very live in terms of not only comments and, you know, typing stuff, do live videos, and just be in the people's faces. I think that's what's important, because if he's not really in a hurry, then why is he doing it? You know, unless he wants to ruin 2046 or something.
Mr. Muna, because the gentleman has realized and has recognized that I think this is the time for President Hakainde Hichilema. You know, you cannot force matters. Just like some other people, other candidates, they would say, well, privatization. You know, Zambians are not so that daft that you can cheat and you go around and say, this guy's a criminal, privatization. You know, you are not talking to kids. They are books.
Yeah, but not really that type of low balling type of politics. No, not you know, you can still put yourself out there in a reasonable manner.
You are right. I understand what you're saying, Mr. Muna, but I think I would say that, well, with a gigantic politician, now businessman and now politician like President Hakainde Hichilema, you need to be very, very cautious. Don't force matters like the Sean Tembos and these other things. You know, you force matters, you will really crash. In front of a person like Hakainde Hichilema, you need time. Plan, wait, and when it is time, you have a very good structure. And Mr. Muna, what you're saying is correct. You need to have a structure. You need to have people around you. You need to have support. This guy is not just sitting idle. He is wooing a lot of youth. Huh? He has some youth, quite stable young men, respectable young men who are working behind him. So I think for the future of Zambians politics, he is one of those candidates that I would support myself for his genuine and steadiness in doing politics.
Definitely. Brother Perry, any additions before we close? Because we've already been running for 1 hour, 32 minutes. We need to get out of here now.
Well, I just wanted to agree with you on what you said, because if someone wants to be president, right, they have to start positioning themselves, right? So in short, let's say if you know that for you to be president, you have to walk 100 kilometers. You don't have to start walking backwards. So what Muna is saying is, at least, even if it's at a slow pace, you know, you one step at a time, and then people will see that, oh, this is where this guy is heading to. And to be honest, up until now, that's when I've just heard about him. I don't know. I'll have to look him up and see what he does. But he has to start, you know, positioning himself towards the goal that he wants to achieve, and that's really imperative.
Right. So, gentlemen, let's conclude before we run out of time. So, give me your conclusive, your conclusions. Anything that you would love to touch, go for it, Brother Oscar.
Well, I would. I think I came in late, but so let me just annoy you with maybe repeating what Brother Perry has already said. Congratulations to Tayengwa, and I hope this guy also can work for the people of Kabwata. They deserve to be represented. not only the people of Kabwata, but all the Zambians, all the 10 constituencies in all the 10 provinces in Zambia think they deserve to be represented truthfully. I hope the new ministers, them being UPND, them being in the opposition or EPF, I hope these ministers, they can start their mindset. They need to change. You know, Mr. Muna, I'm sorry to go back to the same topic which I have at heart. The Lower Zambezi thing, there was a member of parliament, he's a PF, so-called Mr. I don't remember the name, but he's the minister there in Lower Zambezi, in that area. This morning was on radio and on TV, and he said that project is going ahead because Copper Belt have mines, Luapula have mines. Why can't we have mines also here in Southern Province, in Southern Lower Zambezi? And he showed some sort of, that arrogance. Of course, probably it's because of the party where he's coming from. That I can see that is one of their identity, a little bit of arrogance and lack of dialogue with the people. So I hope the ministers, especially members of parliament, if they can adopt the desire to work for the Zambians and not to make hidden deals with foreigners. We are tired. We are tired to make hidden deals. The Luapula saga now, mining with those Asian people. No, I think they are coming from Syria. They talked about the guys from Syria now mining in Luapula, where the police, they chase the Luapula ordinary people out from those illegal mines. Luapula people were chased. And we understand somebody from Syria, they are mining with hard machinery. This type of behavior, it's time the people leaders, they work for the Zambians. We also need to feel the one Zambia, one nation, not just a name on a paper, but in reality. We hope the dream of our President Hakainde Chilema of participation, the partnership. The investors, they come, they partner with the Zambians, and I think Zambia is going to benefit. Otherwise, I still have a doubt, even in the UPND members of parliament, if they are going to hold on, or they are going to keep on these hidden agendas with foreign investors, just like Mr. Muna was saying about the country in the Middle East. I don't know whether did you say something in the eastern part who are financing the PF and things like that? If UPND are going to fall into this trap, then there will be no change. We want them to put Zambia first. Let even those hidden traps, hidden deals come into scrutiny, please, for the betterness of our country. Thank you. I greet you, Brother Perry. I greet you, Mr. Moon. I greet all the viewers. Please continue sharing the program, even if we are remaining with only maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
All right, and enjoy your lovely lunch, Brother Oscar.
Thank
that
you.
Italian scrumptious dish should be, filling your belly. So bon
Thank
appetit.
you.
Priятного
Grazie.
аппетита.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, Brother Perry, give it to us.
Yes, I hope Brother Mbombo enjoys this pasta there, because I think Italy is known for pasta, right? Yeah. Just at this point, I would like to say congratulations to Mr. Tayengwa. Your hard work has paid off, and my prayer is that the UPND will be visible. They'll take charge. They'll be proud of their achievements. At this point, none of them is, and if they are not going to be proud of what they achieve, how are we going to know that this is what they're achieving? For me, this election was supposed to be a whitewash, but right now, with these results, it's going to give PF some false confidence, and we'll live to see another day what happens. But up until now, I would say congratulations for you to the people of Kabwata for voting for the UPND, and we hope that he's gonna pretty much bring development to Kabwata. So, and then to my friend Mr. Tayali, good job. As I said, you've done very well. Don't face down. Just keep on going, and that's what really matters. From me and Muna, I think it's good night.
It's definitely a great night. So thank you for the support. We are definitely going to be here again as usual, 8 p.m. Zambian time, which is Central African time. Do remember to catch us on a daily basis because we are going to keep you updated with everything that is happening in Zambia. So from us, the Z Corner Virtual Community, the Z Corner Virtual Studios, it's a lovely good night from us. Take care and God bless you.